All right, Mark, tell us about Designated.
Yeah,
and give us
Mark.
the elevator pitch.
Elevator pitch, the short version. All right. It's two warring alien races. You have the classic green, gray skin alien type guys. You have the bulky, warlike alien type guys. So you kind of think Klingons and Klingons and the Vulcans. So you have that going on. They're fighting over a newly discovered power source. And Aaron says no break. So we have a newly discovered power source. The war comes down to Earth. The good aliens have the power source, and they're trying to hide it from the evil aliens. Come to Earth. They find out that the way to hide the power source is to implant the crystals into the minds of humans. And therefore, that's how they gain powers, as a side effect of that. Bad guys come down, try to get it back. That's the story. It's a very low key, very small story, very anti.
No. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear that. I want to say it's the most epic space battle ever put on printed page.
But that's the thing. That's not. It's completely opposite. Because some people want the subdued. Some people want the anti, which is actually kind of funny if you think about it. Because when I wrote it 30 years ago, when it was drawn 20-something years ago, and it was inked 20-something years ago, it was against type. It had a female lead. It had a multi-ethnic cast.
Yeah.
That wasn't a big thing back then. But now here we are, and the circle, we went all the way around, and this is kind of the norm. So it's very, a very subdued a story. And actually, most of it, it's a 5-issue series. Where the issue 1 is on Kickstarter right now. It's very subdued, and it kind of happens in like a day. So it's not even like an expansive, long-time story. It's a very small, little chunk of story that happens to these characters. One of the other things about it is that one of the unique things about it is because it was already written, because it was already drawn, a pencil, and because it was inked mostly. That's still, I think, Peter Palmiotti, the DC and Marvel inker. He's working on issues 3 and 4 right now, 2 and 3, 4. He's working on that because the pages are all mixed up. We have the ability that we can offer more than just the first 22 pages in the Kickstarter campaign. If we reach certain levels, we can do issue 2, issue 3, issue 4, and a full trade with the one campaign. So that's another thing you can.
I see the coloring is very good too.
Yes, the coloring is done by some guy who I met 30 years ago in a comic book school by Mr. Hassan Godwin.
This guy is notorious. He just follows people around and impromptu colors their pages for them without permission. He's a menace.
Speaking of following around, that's how we became friends. If you remember that story, Hassan, do you?
Yes, the infamous walk to the train station.
Yeah, so we left the school together. We were walking to the train station, and then he just comes up to me and just starts talking to me, and then we just kept on talking, and then that's how we became friends.
Yeah, that's the last time I ever did that too, by the way.
Oh, so mine.
I don't talk to anybody anymore.
Yeah, I ruined it for you.
Like this didn't work out for me.
And if you think about it, Hassan, had you not approached me 30 years ago, we would not be having this conversation right now. You would not be on this show right now.
That
true.
might be very
true. So weird if you think about it.
Well, he'd be on the show.
Stop using the words 30 years. Stop saying 30 years.
So wait, so it's funny you mentioned that, Hassan. When I was younger, I loved the fact, like, I took pride when I reached like a 10-year anniversary of like knowing somebody. Like, that's really cool. Like, oh, now that I feel like there's real meat to it. But as I've gotten older, now the fact that I can say I've known people for like 30 years, some people I've known for like 35 years, I'm like, all right, that's
enough.
Yeah, now
that's enough of that.
We've reached the hourglass has flipped over. We're on the other side of it. Not cool.
I don't need it. Yeah, this is no good for me at all.
Not cool at all. All right, well, Mark, I backed your Kickstarter, so hopefully that helps you get to your destination. It's always difficult running a Kickstarter, and it's always stressful. So I hope you are as stress free as you appear in real life.
So we've been doing streaming. Peter and I have been doing streaming for most of the campaign. So we're 17 days in. So we've been doing 17 days of streaming on other people's shows. And a lot of questions come up, and certain things, revelations come to you. And somebody asked me about what does it feel like having it at Kickstarter right now. And I'm like, this thing has been so long trying to get out, ups and downs and deals and no deals and what have you. I feel like I'm a pregnant woman who's past her due date. I just want to get the baby out. I'm not even like, let's just get it out. Let's finally just into the world. So I'm not even like, and I'm like, all right, let's is this the time? Is this the one that's gonna happen? Is this the one that's gonna come out, or is it gonna be another 30 years?
No, this is the one that's gonna work.
So like right now, it's weird because right now circumstances and things are coming into play that this could happen.
Yeah.
It's weird how the pandemic really made the Kickstarter, the crowdfunding campaign explode. So even that a couple of years back wouldn't have happened. And then I was supposed to go through it with a publisher. We went our separate ways amicably. We're still good friends, professional relationship. So me doing it on my own was another thing that just kind of fell into what happens.
Yeah.
And I want to give a shout out to our graphic designer. Without her, none of this would have been able to be possible. She has done so many things for just the actual page. She designed a page. She designed many things that I couldn't even have thought of. So even that, like everything was just falling into place. So this could be the time. So with that, it's like, so I'm gonna have to do everything I can to get it out there. And right now, I'm like, this is as good as it's gonna get. I'm doing as best as I possibly can. So if I fail, I will have no regret because I'm like, you know what? I did the best I possibly could. There isn't anything, if I did this. No, I did the best I possibly could. I got the best team that I can possibly get. This is how we're at. But let's get that baby. Let's birth that baby already.
It's a hell of an analogy.
That's what it looks like for a guy to have birth. Get it out there.
I use the bank heist analogy because like it's it's tense. You have plans and then you execute the plan and then you're really just trying to get the money. You're trying to get the money and get out. By the time it's over, so that you can go and spend this money on what you want to do. So that
without it ending like Heat, where you walk out into a
right, exactly right. You're like, you just drop the bag and you just drop everything, and then you just charge the cops and get shot. And
don't do that part. That part we don't want.
The zombies just pop up. Like,
yeah,
unfortunately,
it ruins everything.
Less of an analogy and more of a real life thing lately. But, well, Mark, we wish you all the best and great success. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime you want, actually, because anytime you're on the show, I'm allowed to make fun of Hassan. That's how it works. It's
that's the rules.
Yes,
in the contract,
that stops you all the other shows that we do.
Yeah, but if I bring on guests, right? Then it's already 2 against 1 but now it's 2 against 1 in my favor this time because this is Mark's technically your guest, even though I've known him for a while. So, and Mark is all too happy to
because it's all out of love. It's all out of love first time.
That's right.
We love Hassan.
I try to tell him that every week, Mark. Every week.
He knows that.
I know nothing.
Hell, what? How did we get into the show to begin with? I couldn't have done it without you. You didn't believe me that we were going to make the show. I remember this conversation. I was like, hey, we're going to do a radio show. And what did you say? What's your another story?
I was like, yeah, sure, whatever.
And then a couple of months later, I'm like, okay, this is what we got to do. And then what was your reaction?
It's like that's real. Like I have to actually go on the radio now.
You're like, oh,
so,
yeah. This will go nowhere. So I'll just say yes. Why not? That also taught me the lesson. Never just say yes. Always examine things before you say yes.
It's funny because like fortune cookies, like one of the fortune I got was like always say yes.
Yeah, don't. I got one and I have it. It's on my fridge. It said next time have the shrimp. That was my fortune.
That's actually the worst. That's the worst advice.
I thought it was the greatest fortune I ever got, so that's why I put out like this. This is shameless. This is absolutely shameless. And then there was another one. I think Phil got one years ago. Phil Colligan. He said, "Look behind you," which was pretty funny. And then he refused to look behind him after that. So it was pretty funny.
It's pretty good. This has been the Rogue Wave Podcast. I want to thank our guest, Mark Torres. Next week, it is before our summer break. It's our last show before summer vacation because I'm going on vacation and I just don't want to do another show. We have got She-Hulk to review and to react to and look at whether or not we have another Marvel hit or is this too far? They do a lot of different things in this, Plus, they're going to reintroduce a hero that we are very all too familiar with and is returning to the Marvel Universe too. So we got a lot to react to. Plus, the 5th installment of Kingdom of Tundo comes out. So we'll discuss that. And, who knows? In between now and next week, lots of things can happen. This has been the Rogue Wave Podcast. We will see you all next week. Hi guys, Mike Dolce here from the Rogue Wave Podcast. If you like this video, please feel free to like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. It really helps us out. Leave a comment, let us know what you'd like to see in future episodes, and tune in every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, for a brand new episode of the Rogue Wave Podcast.